3:30 on ABC. It is your Oregon Ducks on the road at the Washington Huskies. Speaking of big dogs, I've got some thoughts on this game. You are the Oregon aficionado of the group, the Oregon aficionado that people have tuned in to hear. What say you, Oregon at Washington?
Well, first of all, I'm gonna take my Oregon hat off for a second here and just point out that this is just an incredible matchup. This is the matchup with what USC's defense has looked like lately, with what Utah's offense has looked like all season long without Cam Rising. It's one of the worst offenses in college football in terms of points scored per drive. So from a scoring efficiency metric, Utah has taken an enormous step back. That this is kind of, it's not the season because these two teams could play again potentially in the Pac-12 championship game, but it has established itself, this matchup, as the prime time. I think it's at 3:30 Eastern. The prime time matchup of the season out west. All due respect, obviously, to Coach Prime as well. And I can't wait. I have circled this. I'm putting my Oregon hat back on for a moment. I have circled this matchup for a year just because of how last year's matchup went. It was a great game. Bo Nix in that big spot getting hurt certainly affected things. He leaves and then comes back. Ty Thompson comes in, doesn't go well, and Oregon ends up losing that game. And on the other side, good for Washington. Good teams take advantage of opportunities. There was an opportunity. Washington got it done, had themselves a very successful year last year. Looks to be the most lethal offense in America this year. And so I can't wait. I scribbled down a bunch of different things about what I'm excited to see in this game. From an Oregon perspective, it's Bo Nix on the road. He looked a little bit shaky against Texas Tech at times. He has looked shaky throughout his career on the road at times, but overall his Oregon career has been sterling, very, very strong. And he would be the primetime quarterback in this game if not for Michael Penix on the other side of the ball. And so from an Oregon perspective, to me, it's Oregon has a defense that has taken leaps and bounds since last year. I saw some stat that 14 of the 22 players that have taken significant snaps for Oregon this season did not play in this game last year, which seems meaningful, hopefully, if you're an Oregon fan. Washington has been electric through the air. They seem to be healthy at receiver. Rome Odunze and Jalen McMillan were sort of questions in the last couple weeks. McMillan missed a couple weeks there, but they are firing on all cylinders. This isn't a rushing team. They don't pretend like they're a rushing team. They do what they do, and they do it better than probably, depending on your viewpoint of their schedule. And I have the scoring. I know I'm going a mile a minute here, Ty.
No, please. I appreciate this emotional outburst from me. That's why the folks have tuned in.
I know. So, okay, this is the defenses that Washington has played, and we'll get to Oregon as well. Washington's defenses faced points per drive, 105, 90, 95, 67, 65. So they have not played they have not yet played anything above average defensively. And Oregon, you look at their schedule and the defenses and offenses that they've played, not particularly better. To me, this game comes down to moments. Washington in the red zone hasn't always been great when you're not able to run the ball. It's nitpicking. Washington's run defense, to me, is going to be huge. They allow third and shorts more often than just about anybody in the country. Oregon is sensational in short yardage situations. To me, it's a who can, I'm going to pre-settle here, Ty. Who gets off better? Okay. If Washington's defense can get off the field in a more efficient manner than Oregon's can, it's game over. UW wins at home in front of an electric crowd. Because I don't think we have lots of questions about these teams' strengths. I think it's going to come down to moments. It's going to come down to third and fourth and short. It's going to come down to, is Washington going to go for it on fourth and goal from the 4-yard line kind of thing. And because I think Oregon can do a better job at preventing Washington from doing what it wants than what Washington can do in preventing Oregon what it wants to do, I am going to take the Oregon Ducks to win this game. I'm going to take the homer pick.
A homer pick.
Because I don't play games with the listeners like you do, Ty. I don't say, well, I think Notre Dame's going to win, but I'm not going to pick Notre Dame. You know who you are. You know what you've done over these past few years,
Don't come
Ty.
at me. It's been a hard year already.
I am speaking from my gut, Ty, from my well-toned abdominals. I'm going to say I think defense right now is more important. I worry about all the things I'm still going to worry about with Oregon and Bo Nix and missing shots and missing open receivers as he did against Texas Tech in big moments. but I'm still going to go with the seasoning, what I think is the seasoning of this Oregon defense, that in a high leverage game like this, you give me the team that can get 1 to 3 more stops, I'm going to go with that team.
What does your
Oregon.
phone, what does your text thread look like with Jeff Schwartz right now? How many times did he message you today about this game?
Look, today only?
Yeah.
15. Jeff is the kind of fan that, and obviously played offensive line for Oregon for years. He is positive of his viewpoint of the game, and he just wants the game to happen so he doesn't have to think about it anymore.
Yeah.
He wants it in the rearview mirror so he can move on, knowing that Oregon's either going to lose or win, and so he can collect the data and emotions from that. So I think Washington, look, if Michael Penix makes incredible throws, makes 8 incredible throws, Washington will win this game by 7 to 10 points. I just think I think there are more good players on the Oregon roster. Washington has struggled to get to the passer this year, which was supposed to be a strength with ZTF and Braylon Trice, whereas Oregon has been a pleasant surprise in how many different guys are ending up in the backfield. So that's where I'm going to give the lean at this point. Running and defense, I think, is just going to be the edge here.
This is the download within the download. I appreciate it. That was far better analysis than I could give. There are 3 things about Washington that frighten me in this game. First off, defensive line against the run. I think Oregon could push them around a little bit. Secondly, the defense does not blitz nor sack the quarterback. Bo Nix has been pretty efficient in his time in Eugene.
Clean, by the way. The line is exactly very clean. Yeah.
So I think you need to get pressure on Bo Nix if you want to win this game. It's going to be, I think, back and forth in a very close affair. And the other thing to that point, I would add that Michael Penix has seen almost no pressure this season. We know he's very capable in the offense. This is his 3rd year now, if you go back to his time at Indiana, where he has been in this Kalen DeBoer system. I think very highly of Michael Penix. I think the NFL does as well. I think the Heisman voters will as well. This is not so much a slight on Michael Penix as it is we haven't necessarily seen him with this group of receivers, face any kind of real significant pressure. So to that end, I think Oregon is a more physical team. I think they can control the tempo of this game on the ground and in the trenches. And again, a really good game last year. I think it'll be a really good game this year. Washington won, by 3 last year, 37-34?
Yes.
And that was a game that featured a bunch of big plays late.
And red zone turnovers. Michael Penix threw that interception that changed things.
That's
I think
right.
Oregon had a fumbled snap that changed things deep. And so it was a high leverage moment game last year. I anticipate more of the same.
34-30, Oregon wins.
That's what I have. Yeah, I had something in there. I think I said 37-33 or 38-34, something like that.
So we agree. That's not good news for the Oregon Ducks.
No, not at all.
Let's move on.
Although you've taken to looking at my West Coast viewpoint and just suckling off of the Dan Rubenstein information teats.
I've been peeking out of the corner of my eye copying.